with a WWE Hall of Famer discussing a dream match and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Noting a pro wrestler that has received a new position in All Elite Wrestling, WrestlePurist wrote on X, Rocky Romero is now part of the AEW front office, per Dave Meltzer through the F4W Daily Update. Sean Ross Appa Fightful would confirm this story was accurate. Revealing the struggles of being on separate main roster brands to her partner Ludwig Kaiser, Tiffany Stratton said on TikTok, "As some of you may know, my boyfriend is on Monday Night Raw and I'm on SmackDown, which means we have opposite schedules, which freaking sucks. We have the complete opposite of schedule. Like, he comes in Tuesday morning, I leave Thursday afternoon. We only have like 2 days together really, because he's on the live shows every single weekend, but it's okay." Asked about safety measures taken in AEW to protect women given the accusations against Vince McMahon and WWE, President of AEW Tony Khan told fans cited, "I can't comment on the terrible allegations against WWE right now. That's something people are paying a lot of attention to right now with good reason. For us, first and foremost, trying to create a safe locker room environment for everybody, women and men, and we have a really good bond. I think we have a great locker room, and everyone knows there is a support system there. There are a lot of channels, and I think everybody feels very good about having a safe place and a safe workspace, and there are people you can talk to. There are people in the office, but even on the wrestling side. For us, I think that's the most important thing in any office of any workplace, is just having a lot of people that will listen and will want to make the company a safe and good place to work." Reacting to John Laurinaitis referring to himself as a victim of Vince McMahon, Eric Bischoff has said this on his 83 Weeks podcast. "I was not surprised, because what else is Johnny Laurinaitis going to do to try his best to salvage what's left of his reputation, and I think beyond even the reputational aspect of this, to protect himself financially because he's at risk here. He's named in the lawsuit, so it didn't surprise me. But in a case like this, particularly if we're talking about potential crimes, and trafficking has been part of this, and about interstate commerce, if there was any, and I would assume there probably was in some respects, in some cases, it changes the stakes dramatically." Asked to address the lawsuit against WWE and Vince McMahon, Bruce Prichard noted on his Something to Wrestle podcast, "As far as lawsuits and things of that nature, I'm not at liberty to discuss any legal matters of the company whatsoever. To that, there is nothing that I can say. There can't be a response from the legal standpoint. You can ask until you're blue in the face, and that's going to be your answer. It's a legal matter. Let the rest of it sit in the hands of the fine legal system we have here in the United States of America. No one told me not to do anything on the podcast other than the simple fact that I work for a company that is involved in a lawsuit right now. I can't comment. Folks, if you work at a large company and your large company is being sued, there is very little you can say about it. If you do, that's a good way for you to lose your job." Giving insight to his experience in AEW, Rob Van Dam said on his One of a Kind podcast, "I get a lot of respect there, obviously. I'm more comfortable there than I am at WWE. It feels less grandioso. It has a very important indie vibe that's cranked up to like, boom, it's TV day. It's not the same as the pressure, at least it doesn't seem like it, around WWE. By that I mean like the agenda or what your job is to do throughout the entire day. It seems less complicated." Speaking with WWE backstage following Imperium's loss in a six-man tag team match on Raw, Intercontinental Champion Gunther said, "I think objectively we have to look at the rivalry with the New Day? Well, boys, I think this whole thing is a marathon, not a sprint. But honestly, the New Day and Jey Uso, they both are two of the most successful tag team wrestlers in the history of this company, and we lost to the better team today. That's fine. Mentioning if former AEW Women's Champion Jamie Hayter could be returning to the promotion soon as she has been out of action due to injury, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, "I hope so. I have not been given a date on Jamie Hayter though. I just heard early this year, and we're early in the year, so there you go. But I've heard nothing new, I would say in a couple of months really." Reflecting on The Rock turning heel, Kevin Nash noted on his Click This podcast, "People forget how good of a heel Rock was. People also forget how quick in Toronto Rock made the adjustment on Hogan when the building made the adjustment with Hulk. I'm sorry, man. And I think Roman's been a great champion. I think he's a star. He's somebody that I would go pay and see. But not as much as Dwayne. He'll never be Dwayne." Speaking about her recovery following knee surgery, Charlotte Flair said this to CNBC Power Lunch. "I'm 6 weeks out Thursday, I'm ahead of schedule, and every day all I can think about is returning back to the ring. Especially with all the excitement with Raw going to Netflix, WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, all I can think about is getting back and winning that number 15. Taking to X, Joe Gacy would post a picture of his late cat, writing, "We lost our boy today." When it comes to plans following his time in WWE, Matt Riddle said this on Sunday night's main event. "When I got done with WWE, it's kind of stressful working on TV all the time, especially with the travel. The money is awesome, it's definitely worth it, and the experience. Now I want to take a break from TV. After the 90 days and during the 90 days, I'm setting some dates up. I talked to some places. I've talked to TNA. I've worked with New Japan and MLW. You do film for TV, but it's not the same as Monday Night Raw. 3 hours live, anything can happen, people are changing the script. You have 10 minutes for your match, now you have 5 minutes. It's extremely stressful. I like the pressure, but at the same time, I kind of wanted a little break from all that. I'm choosing places more pay-per-view based where I don't have to worry about going to commercial so we can get that Fritos advertisement." Going over plans for Will Ospreay in AEW, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, "Will Ospreay is scheduled to be wrestling at Revolution. Ospreay's got no more dates following his Rev Pro match with Michael Oku, so he would probably show up on next week's Dynamite to do the angle for his match." Following Monday Night Raw, Cody Rhodes, according to user Mac_Ripley3, would give away the shoes off his feet to fans in attendance. Also, he would make a young fans night, as Chris Dizzle wrote on X, "Thank you Cody Rhodes and John Cone for making Gracie's birthday that much more special and making her wish come true." As Brock Lesnar was seemingly named in the sex trafficking lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE, he has not been seen in the ring since then. On top of that, plans for him to be involved at the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber event, and WrestleMania 40 have reportedly been scrapped. Now, Lesnar has been spotted in public for the first time since these allegations came to light, as he was seen with his daughter Maya following her win in women's shot put. With it previously reported that Drew McIntyre would see his WWE contract expire following WrestleMania, it looks as though he might have re-signed, as it was said that. Interesting to note that Drew McIntyre is being advertised for the May WWE event in Italy, a sign the two sides may have come to terms on an agreement beyond WrestleMania 40. The expectation, as PWInsider.com has previously reported, was that his deal expired shortly after Mania takes place this April. Touching on the possibility of making a return to the WWE ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin told ESPN, "I said I'd never get in a ring again unless all the stars aligned. And for some reason, somehow, they all did. And at the age of 57, I headlined the first night of WrestleMania. I never thought I'd do that. If you'd have told me that when I retired in 2003, I'd have said, you're crazy. So I'm not going to sit here and say no to anything because you never say never in this crazy business of sports entertainment." Austin said this when asked about facing CM Punk. "It would be a good one. I like Punk, and I think Punk likes me. So, as long as he can take a stone cold stunner, I consider him a great friend, a great guy, and a great wrestler who's had a great career. We'll see." Asked about his willingness to respond to critics on social media, AEW President Tony Khan said this during the media event for the Super Bowl. "We have a great connection with the fans, so it's a good question, but I think we've been able to build real engagement at times, and I think there's tangible proof of that. I believe 3 out of the last 4 weeks, Wednesday Night Dynamite has beat the NBA on ESPN straight up, and we've had great success connecting with our fans, so I think what we've got going works really well." Giving an update on his knee injury and when he expects to return, Seth Rollins told the Rich Eisen show, "My knee feels really good. I tore my MCL 3 weeks ago, meniscus injury in there as well, but I feel really good. I really kind of turned a corner this week with the rehab. I'm feeling really good. I think another 3 or 4 weeks or so. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll definitely be back before WrestleMania. We'll be healthy and ready to go 100% at WrestleMania, no question." Discussing a potential Dark Side of the Ring episode on the late former ECW star Mike Awesome, Rob Van Dam noted on his One of a Kind podcast, "My thoughts on that are that it's not gonna happen. I talked to them about it. I would have been a big part of it. Mike was my road wife for a while in 2001, maybe 2002. We traveled together. He and I and Sean Stasiak when Sean Stasiak was on the road. For some reason, sometimes I guess we were split up between Raw and SmackDown back in the day on different shows. But me and Mike traveled together. I knew him very well from spending so many hours with him and stuff. I was very happy to hear from Dark Side of the Ring when they wanted to know if I would be willing to talk to them. Absolutely. I feel like let's get Mike's story out. That's what immortalizes us, and for celebs, a lot of people that want to be celebs anyway and don't just stumble upon it, that's kind of the goal, isn't it? If you're building your fan base, you're building your fame. That's increasing your stature, and thereby in your profession, your value goes up. As I understand it, Mike Awesome's ex-wife put the kibosh on the whole project. I was very bummed to hear that because, like I said, without that, it's just like bury him and forget about it. Personally, I know that he missed his kids so much. I can't believe he hung himself and would do that to his kids. He loved his kids and missed his kids all the time. Not his wife so much, and he would be very upfront about that. I would poke him and grill him, ask him some questions, and he missed his kids." Reacting to his loss to Bobby Lashley in a qualifying match for the men's Elimination Chamber match, Bronson Reed said this backstage. Super disappointed. This is what I've dreamed about my whole life, being able to be on a WWE premium live event in my home country of Australia. I feel like I've let down my family, I've let down the fans, and I've let down all of Australia. I couldn't get the job done tonight. I don't know where I go. I planned 2024 to be a big year for Big Bronson Reed, and it's not going to plan. I'm just at my wit's end, and eventually I'm going to snap. Reed also wrote this on X. My whole life I dreamed of wrestling on a WWE PLE in my home country. I failed my people, myself, and my family. Sorry. Asked if he would call out anyone from the UFC, Seth Rollins told Mark Raimondi of ESPN, "I'd call them all out. I don't care. I can't do what they do. I'd probably get knocked out and choked in 2 seconds. Still, I might do better than CM Punk, but I would likely lose. They can't come and do what we do either. Same umbrella, but 2 totally different worlds." Speaking about the rumors of former New Japan star Kazuchika Okada signing with All Elite Wrestling, Bryan Danielson said this to Tokyo Sports. "Of course, I want him to come to AEW. Fans all over the world know how great Okada is. Both WWE and AEW are major players, but I hope he comes to AEW. If he went to WWE, they might have him start with the third brand, NXT, like Shinsuke Nakamura, to adapt to the American style, but it's already completed. Okada doesn't need that. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, so he should just come to the United States without changing anything." Talking about the WrestleMania 40 kickoff show, Mark Henry would call out WWE for their utilization of Seth Rollins, noting on Busted Open Radio, "Give him an edge. Have him walk up and just say, 'Listen, obviously, I'm in the wrong place because I defend my title. I kick ass every week. You line them up, I knock them down. Everybody here hasn't wrestled in 5 years, 10 years, haven't wrestled but 3 times this year. Well, Cody, you actually are pretty damn good. That's why I wanted to face you, but you chose people that don't wrestle, so I bid you adieu." And I would have left. And now you fix it. He didn't need to be out there, and when Cody got slapped, everybody should have cleared out of the back. Asked how she would feel in regards to challenging for a men's title in WWE, Rhea Ripley said this to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. "Oh, 100%. I'm always down for a challenge. I love a good challenge. So if that opportunity were to arise, I would 110% be down." Praising Triple H for his management of WWE, The Undertaker said this on his 6 Feet Under podcast. "He's doing it calmly, so I'm not around, obviously, like I used to be. When I was working full-time, or even when I wasn't working full-time, it was just so chaotic. There is like this calm backstage. The crew itself, the talent, they're relatively young. Top to bottom, they're young people. They're all so chill. I've seen Triple H get worked up, but I haven't seen him yell at talent. I haven't seen him badmouth anybody. There's been times where you come back through the curtain and you know that ass chewing is coming. I haven't seen that with him. Like I said, I haven't been around a whole lot, but I've been around enough, and I know him well enough, and I can just tell it's such a chill vibe. For me, I almost don't like it because it's almost too calm to me, and this is just me on the outside looking in. It's like they don't care enough. It's not that. It's just the atmosphere." On that same podcast, Undertaker said this about Cody Rhodes initially giving up his WrestleMania 40 spot against Roman Reigns to The Rock. "I I wanted to hear Cody's promo. It was great. It was so good, and I was so invested. When he said, "just not at WrestleMania," my freaking heart sunk into my stomach because I knew at that moment what was about to happen. For Cody to go out and to deliver the promo that he delivered last night, I felt for him. He did it like a champ. He did it so professionally. For more details on Scott D'Amore being fired as the TNA Wrestling president, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, "The wheels were in motion for D'Amore's termination a month prior. D'Amore adamantly did not want to leave TNA, though Anthem had stated that they wished to present it as a mutual departure." Talking about retiring from pro wrestling, Dustin Rhodes told Sports Guys Talk Wrestling, "The older I get, the harder it gets. The thing about me is my work ethic. I work hard, and every time that red light is on, I try to do my very best. So far, being here for the 5 years that I have in my 50s, I'm doing amazing. I've not had one bad match. It's been pretty cool to think back of all the good matches I've had in AEW. I've wrestled everybody. It's unbelievable. Retirement has been on my mind. Last year, I said I got 1 year left, and I'm going past that. I don't want to say that again because you never say never, right? I see myself 2 to 4 more years if my legs allow me to. If Tony Khan is gracious enough to keep me around and keep me on television, that's great. Whatever I can do to help. I love producing too, so that's also what I can fall back on. There are a lot of good things going on there. I have a lot. I take it one day at a time and one show at a time. Whatever Tony gives me, I go out there and I'm going to blow it out of the park and have some fun. I'll be sore for a week and a half after." Noting what is to come for The Rock in WWE, WrestleVotes reported that sources suggest that The Rock is expected to fully embrace his heel turn, drawing inspiration from his past Hollywood Rock persona. Additionally, I'm told to anticipate the release of Rock-branded Cody Crybabies merchandise. The story is just beginning. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.